everyone, and welcome. I'm Gabriella Schulman, and this is a special conversation presented by Henry Productions in the support of our upcoming film for Love of the American Dream. This project is more than a film. Its mission to reconnect with what the American dream really means in today's world, especially for the next generation. Today's conversation is part of our ongoing effort to bridge the gap between politics, culture, and community, and to explore where hope still lives in a divided America. And now I am honored to welcome our guest, Treasurer Michael Zuren of Lake County, Ohio, a public servant and a financial steward who brings a unique perspective on the nation's future and what it means to pursue the promise of the American dream. Now I'm honored to welcome our guest, Treasurer Michael Zuren. Treasurer, welcome and thank you so much for being with us today. Before we dive into some of the broader issues, I wanted to begin with something a bit closer to your daily work. As treasurer, you're directly responsible for managing public funds. That's a serious responsibility, one that impacts schools, infrastructures, services, and the lives of everyday people. How does managing public funds help you preserve community trust and strengthen the American dream?
I think that's a fantastic question. There's a lot to being a treasurer, more than just collecting property taxes. One of the biggest parts of the job is managing public funds. So, and I believe that has a direct correlation to the American dream, because ensuring financial stability and opportunities for the community is a big part of managing the investment portfolio for the county. So. Responsibility and stewardship, I believe, extremely important. That's one thing I take great pride in. When I took office, we really looked at all the different ways that you can invest money, all the different options that we have with agencies and treasuries and CDs and savings and all the different things where we could invest money at the safest level with the greatest return, because the greater the return, the more opportunity that the county has to get things done without raising taxes. And managing funds often has an effect on economic opportunity in the county, because some of those funds directly correlate to businesses that are in the county that may offer jobs and more opportunity. And one of the biggest things I do believe in is safety of investment, so AAA rated investments. So we're not risking any of the public funds, any losses. We're just looking at returns, and also long-term planning, because a lot of times when you look at the market and the opportunities that are available, there could be an investment for short periods of time with a greater return, or longer periods of time that will lock in a return. If there's a project or a county is building something, and they need to secure an investment return for a longer period of time and ensure there's a minimum that the county is getting in. So really looking at all the different reasons for an investment and why it's needed is really important as in the treasurer's role.
That's all great to know. My next question for you is so, like, talking about America, America is unique among nations. You know, it's built on diversity and people who risked everything for the shot for the American dream, right? That fierce determination to reach the American dream or die trying is kind of the heart of our film. In your view, how do we pursue and honor that legacy today, especially at a time when the nation's conversation around immigration and belonging have become so deeply divided?
Well, I believe it is. I love the idea for the movie. I think it's fantastic, and I believe preserving America's honor and legacy, based on what you're doing in the movie, is extremely important. Um, I think we need to reaffirm core values. America's legacy is rooted in the ideas of liberty, opportunity, and equality under the law, and it emphasizes discourse, education, civic engagement, and it bridges divides. Um, I believe we need to really focus on promoting respectful dialogue among different groups with different ideas, because when you really dig into it and you see what both sides really want, a lot of times it's the same thing. They just have a different approach, or a different experience in the past. But they really want what's best for them and their families and the community. And sometimes we really need to be respectful and listen to each other and see what we want, which is probably the best for all of us. So I think things that can help would possibly be more town halls, moderated online forums, and just community events where both sides can talk respectfully and listen to each other's ideas.
Great to know you actually answered one of my questions for later on about that, because it is that question of can we get along enough and what can we do to do that? But so my next statement is in our film's final speech, the writers actually quote President Reagan's farewell address, where he said, anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American. Do you believe there's still room in the Republican Party for that vision of openness and inclusion? Or has the party's stance on immigration fundamentally shifted? And what would it take to bring that vision back to the forefront?
I believe the vision is still there in the Republican Party for everybody. Um, and I believe that you know we have to follow the rule of law. We have to make sure that anybody coming into the United States has a purpose to come here. They have a
Mhm.
va- they have um, they can add to what America is and what America is going to be, and their past experiences are really important too because they have a different way of how they have where they're coming from. It could add a lot of value, but we also have to make sure that when they come here, they're going to add value and they're not going to be violent. They're not going to be harmful. They're not going to hurt Americans. So I do believe they need to be vetted and they need to have a purpose for coming here or a value that they're adding to come to the United States.
That's a great answer. Um, So my next question, it's a little like off the side, but our project is driven by a diverse team of interns from across the country, right? We all have different nationalities, backgrounds, perspective. We're all contributing our talents to make this vision come true. A question that I want to say is, in today's political climate, where some voices frame diversity as a threat or liability, what would you say to remind Americans why diversity and inclusion are not only strengths, but essential to shaping the country's future?
Well, I think it's really important to look at all different perspectives because we can learn from each other and we can grow and we can make improvements based on individuals' backgrounds and experiences. And when you're pulling people in from different parts of the world and they want to make where they're living better, if they're going to come to the United States and they want to improve, they want to have a better life for themselves and their family, and they want to give back to the community and show their past experiences and what they have learned and how they could make things better in the community that they're going to raise their family in is going to be better for everybody. So improvements and adding to the talent pool of people working, I think improves everyone's situation. So everyone has something to add if they want to look at it as where they want to live here and raise a family and make a positive impact.
Yeah, it's always good to hear from someone that like that idea is that like that we all need it in a way. So, speaking about my team, right? They were deeply encouraged in not just shaping the film, but also questions that we're exploring here today. Here's a couple that they wanted me to bring up. So, Stephanie from New York, one of our business marketing interns, asked, with the state of the country right now, what is a message you'd like to convey to the younger generation? What do you hope the country continues or finally puts to an end?
Well, I wanted to mention one thing that happened to me in the past.
Mhm.
Kind of what happened to me in my childhood, and then I want to go into that question if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, of
Um,
course.
so kind of my background is, I came from a divorced household. So I have one sister, and my mom, she divorced when I was 9 years old, and I just remember how it impacted my mom and how it impacted the family. And I think this might be a good perspective to look if, for the younger generation, just to see um, a lot of things that are happening now have happened before and how it's kind of shaped the United States. So in my situation, my mom, she went back to work after she got divorced. I was 9, I think my sister was 10. And she worked 2 jobs. One of the jobs she worked at was the YMCA. So my sister and I would get off of school or get out of school and we would go over to the YMCA and we were able to get free classes because she worked there. But she also decided to go back to college and she went to a 2-year college at first, and then she eventually went to, I think it was Notre Dame. She went to Notre Dame in Cleveland, not the one in Indiana,
Oh.
but she went to that, and she eventually graduated. But kind of what that taught us was, she went from a situation where she wasn't working. She worked 2 jobs, and then she went back to school, and I kind of instilled really values and determination, hard work for my sister and I. So it was something that we experienced. I'm older now, but when that happened, I was 9, and that was when I was going into high school, basically 9 to 14, and it just taught me a lot. So when I look at the younger generation and about the United States, the United States has so much to offer, and a lot of it is built on individual characteristics and individual determination. So if somebody wants to get ahead, there is so much opportunity out there that they could strive for and work towards. And a lot of times, especially in the United States, we have these experiences in our childhood when we're growing up. It could be divorce, it could be something that happens in the family, but hard work, determination, seeking opportunity, bettering yourself, and people around you is so important. So I would say that there is more opportunity than ever in the United States. And if somebody wants to take that, if they have a dream or a vision of what they want to do, that opportunity is there.
That's great to hear. I feel like, especially right now, because we've been questioning the last interview I did, actually, we were talking about if the American dream does still exist. And hearing this, this is your story. Like, it's fun. It's interesting to hear that these stories are still happening and that it's going to continue to happen. And that we do have these opportunities are exciting for me, at least. Like, I'm going into the job market and beginning like that journey, and to know that I can have those chances are exciting to know. But sorry, I was a little spiel. But the next thing one of our interns said, Finn from Florida, one of our creative marketing consultants, sent in this question. With so many issues and so much outrage currently plaguing the United States, how do you hope to achieve balance between protecting human rights and providing quality of life? And do you believe that both parties can still find a responsible compromise? Oh, sorry, a responsible compromise?
Absolutely. Human rights, equal protection under the law, freedom of speech, and the right to a safe community. Those need to be guaranteed by the government. That is really a non-negotiable topics that I would see as a leader. Quality of life. It's extremely important. There has to be a base where there is housing, there's uh, uh, good schools, um, access to healthcare, economic opportunity, food. There's some real basic quality of life issues that I believe the United States is handling fairly well. They always need to look at these, but they're so important. People go through crises, people go through things in their life, whether it's a heart attack or divorce or things happen. And there has to be a safety net because we want the best for the community as a whole and everybody in the community and to help them recover and then and then give back to the community as a whole and take care of their family is so important. So there has to be something where people are helped at some point so they can get back on their feet and they can recover. So extremely important human rights, quality of life, and I believe the United States really has a pretty decent safety net at this point to help people succeed.
So now for my final question. It's more of a statement, but at Henry Productions, we believe in America and the promise of the American dream. That belief inspires us to create this film. Throughout our history, America has faced deep internal struggles, the Civil War, the Civil Rights Movement, and the fight for women's suffrage. And each time people stood up so future generations wouldn't have to face the same battles. Today, many young Americans are watching democracy itself come under attack. The rights they thought were guaranteed are being challenged or rolled back. What would you say to them? To those who are scared and uncertain about the future and wondering if the American dream is still alive for them now?
Well, I would say that I mean I hear their fears, I hear their uncertainties, I hear the concerns, and there are turbulent times. I mean, we go through all the time. If you look through history, a lot of things repeat themselves, and it's natural when somebody is going from being a student to adulthood and being responsible for everything that they really question what's going on around them. And I would say that the American dream is real. It is alive and well. I think it's growing stronger and stronger. There's more and more opportunity as time goes on because there's more technology, more innovation. There's just so much to offer, and the opportunities are just growing. And I think the American dream is bigger and better than ever. And when you look at students coming out of college, they're so smart, and they're a lot of times they've really chosen a career path that is real specific, and the value is just exponential. I mean, it's I believe that the American dream is there, but you got to be involved. Democracy is very frail, and people need to stand up for what they believe in. People need to fight for to vote, to engage, to make sure that that is a safe system. And I think that as long as they're involved and they care about where they live, then the American dream will just grow and be stronger and stronger.
Okay, thank you. Treasure Zuren, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your perspective. It's been an honor to have you with us today. And for everyone watching, thank you for being part of this conversation. At Henry Productions, we believe in America. We believe in the American dream. That's why we created this film, to tell a story and honor the struggles, the hopes, and the resilience that define this country. But we can't tell the story without you. If you want to be part of this journey, visit our website for lovetheamericandream.com. Every contribution, big or small, helps us move one step closer to making this vision a reality. When this film premieres, when it lights up the screen, you'll be able to say, I was part of that. I believed in the dream. I helped make it happen. For Love the American Dream, let's build it together. Thank you so much.